Now, to begin with, let me start with chapter 10, which I said I'm not going to test you in either the take-home or the in class. But the chapter 10 is very important. So that's basically a description. It's a chapter 10, right? It's an explanation. It's explanatory statistics or descriptive statistics. Those are very important. In fact, if you are doing any work on statistics later in your career, in your work, that's probably something you will encounter. You don't really get, like a standard problem we are doing, like a textbook problem, but you start with something like a raw. You very often you have to really put your hand on it to process that raw. So this is a very important part. But my personal point of view is nowadays you have the computer available. You can do a lot of this by using a computer. So, I wouldn't put too much emphasis on doing it by hand, because doing it by computer makes a lot of sense. In the good old days, say 20-some years ago, when we were doing that, normally when you are doing something like a histogram, you have to say how many class intervals you have to use, how do you divide by that, what are the polynomials for doing this and that. Those are very, very valid points, except now you don't do that by hand, you do it by computer. So that's why but I'm not saying it's not important. So, and I hope after the class you won't sell your book and forget about it. I hope you still keep that. You walk out from this, you still remember.
I think they do that in 50/30 math, 50/30.
Yeah, they do a lot of
that.
So I had that a number of times. So now let's see. Apart from that, as I said, it's very important. Maybe I should put even star. So to emphasize, how important that is. And really, 20-some years ago, when Kalienko, who is a very well-known statistician, came here to visit the department and evaluate the department. So I remember he mentioned that in his old days, when he was a student, he really used the ruler to measure things. But anyway, so that's for that. Now, for us, we have two major parts. One part is estimation, and the other part is testing. So for the estimation, we discussed several different methods. So one of them is method control. Now, you see, in the problem I gave to you, there is one problem. Use both methods of moment and by the way, even in the first problem I gave to you is a testing problem. But you need to use MLE. So over there, you can actually say just MLE is this. I would expect you write down the details for gauging over there. So write down all the details because you do have enough time. So you can go over the details. Now, this is what we call the estimator. Now, there is something called an interval estimator. So the interval estimate is what we've done for the so-called confidence interval, right? And as you remember, there is duality between the confidence interval and the testing. Last exam, in fact, one problem is devoted to this. And then we talk about the Bayesian estimation. In this problem I gave to you, there's a question about efficiency. those are very important problems. So even you already see that in the take home, you may also be in your and there is also something called the sufficiency. That's what we call the sufficient statistic. You remember there are several ways of doing that. One is using conditional distribution. The other one is using the so-called find the two functions. One of them is independent of parameter. The other one is independent of the other quantity. Okay, so here we have that. Now there is a big name result here. There's something called I hope you still remember Premier long lower bound, right? So this is used quite often, in fact, in practice. So you can expect that we again will have some problem with that. So of course the standard the estimation problem you will have some problem. And then the other big chunk we have been doing is the test statistics. Now there's some component. When you get the problem, make sure you get all the component, component. So we started by saying, for a testing problem, you need a null hypothesis, you need the alternative hypothesis, and you need to specify the test, the statistic, you need to specify the rejection region. And the rejection region and so on and so forth. This all depend on the significance level we are taking the alpha and so on and so forth. So there are several different things we do that. There is also related the calculation of p-value. The power alpha, beta. So in this case, you are given the rejection region. You are trying to figure out what is the alpha and beta. For that, for a certain distribution, you can easily show that. Not all of them. Now we also know there is a question of determining the sample size so as to get the desired alpha and beta. The desired alpha and beta. And this one I already mentioned, but let me just write it here. Quantity, confidence interval, and the test. And we did a lot of them on the maximum likelihood ratio test. Now, for the test, we also done another thing is fix alpha, give the level of the confidence. For giving you alpha, give you some data and ask you to carry out the test. Sometimes maybe the difference of the two different methods or so on and so forth. So here there are two possibilities. One of them is a large sample. One of them is small sample. Now, for the large sample case, you can do normal normal approximation. Whenever you have a large sample, you can do that. For a small sample, you don't have that. You will have the t-distribution instead. Where they're related, it depends on what the problem is. We didn't do much on the test or things like that for virus. If you do that, then some other distribution will come out. Small sample test. Now, there is also another thing is somewhat different. So,